everybody. Welcome to Dubs Talk Live with Warriors insider Monte Poole. I'm Kerith Burke. Got to mention we are brought to you by FitAid. And I know I just said this is Dubs Talk Live, but I actually think it was the Jonathan Kuminga show tonight. We noticed that he had a double-double. When you talk about the themes for Jonathan lately, the team wants him to impact winning without scoring. And he did score, by the way, a double-double. But when you talk about impacting the game, my eye goes immediately to the 10 rebounds he had in this game, leading the team on the boards.
Yeah, I mean, they've been asking for the same three things ever since they drafted him. Run the court, defend, rebound. Anything else is gravy. And tonight he had some gravy, but watching JK tonight playing defense the way he played defense, I mean, there were times when he was locked up against Luka Doncic, which is as big a challenge as he's going to see. I mean, and for a guy who had not been in that position much before, a guy who was getting D and Ps the first couple of weeks of the season, to go from where he was in mid-October to where he is now in late November, and in a game like this against a guy like that, a game where, I mean, this is the two teams that were in the Western Conference Finals. This is Luka on his court.
Yeah.
You know, where he gets, you know, how many free throws did Luka shoot tonight? 100? So, you know, he shot 15. But that's a tough assignment. And I thought he acquitted himself pretty well just by defending him pretty well and stopping him a few times. So I thought he had a great game. And this is why, this is why you believe he'll be in the rotation for the foreseeable future. I don't see him going anywhere right now.
There you go, solidified. We're watching his minutes tick up from 13 to 13 in the next game to 20 in the next game, now to 26 here. But listen, okay, let's hear from Steve Kerr. Let's get Steve Kerr's assessment on Jonathan Kuminga, and then we'll watch some tape.
Best game I've ever seen JK play because everything he did contributed towards making an impact on winning. His defense on Luka was fantastic. He was disciplined. He stayed down. He challenged shots. I think he had a couple blocks. He stayed patient offensively. He just took the shots that were there. He knocked down a big three. JK has been fantastic. He's really coming into his own, and that's very exciting.
Best game ever, Steve said. And let's go to the second quarter, because there was a sequence that Jonathan Kuminga had. Okay, it was about over 3 minutes. I say it's a sequence, but let's say 3 minutes of body of work, all right? He had a layup, a rebound, a block, a rebound, a rebound, a rebound, a foul, and then a dunk. But then he's also interrupting some shots. Good defense on Christian Wood, good defense on Luka Doncic. Do you remember at the start of the season on defense where Jonathan Kuminga would bite on all those pump fakes? Okay, he's not doing that anymore. Feet on the floor, also had 2 blocks. What do you think is going so well for JK right now? What's getting into his head?
Well, he's been coached to do these things, but now he's absorbing it and applying it. You put him on the floor now, and just some of the things that he was vulnerable to before, he's not an old savvy vet, but at this stage, again, this is part of the growth process, and he is in a place now where, okay, he's more comfortable. He's going to get minutes if he knows he does the right things. And tonight is an example of that, because he didn't do anything really wrong. He had a couple of bad fouls late, but for the most part, I mean, he played the kind of game. When they drafted this guy 15 months ago, so that's all it's been, 15 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and they drafted him. This is what they visualized. And so I think at this point, yeah, you're thinking, yeah, this is what you're looking at.
Well, the Warriors can withstand those fouls if he's doing the other things on the floor, right? Because Steph Curry might have a foul. He's not yanked immediately, but he's doing the other things on the floor. So withstanding that stuff, I think it's impressive that you can tell with all these gains that Kuminga is making, he's been listening, okay? You look at the end of this game, the crunch time minutes when the Warriors were trying to win this thing. Now, Jordan Poole subbed in with about 80 seconds left to play, but from 4 minutes on, like you look at who was on the floor in the crunch time, Jonathan Kuminga was on the floor. I don't know that that's happened in a close game like this before.
Not a game like this, no. Usually if he's on the floor late in the game, it's usually a blowout one way or the other.
Right.
But this was a tight game, but he was playing so well. Like Steve said, this is the best game we've seen him play. I mean, most complete game, because he was good at both ends. And just, he was smart and just did all the right things. So JK is one of those guys that they hoped would be a great player. He wants to be a great player. Tonight is why you saw tonight why you think he can possibly be a great player, because he played a great game.
Yeah, he did. Let's see some of that fourth quarter crunch time tape, because there was a bucket in this one that shocked me. You know which one it was?
Yes.
Shocked me.
Yes.
But I love it. It's a good shock. He'd been playing around the rim.
Yep.
But wait a minute, you're going to see JK race to the corner here. Okay, Steph's trying to do something against Luka. Steph passes to Kuminga for three, and he nails it. His first three of the game, 1 for 1. So hadn't attempted one before, and then nails this one, which was just ice cold. I think you were trying to see him smile, but it was a very intense moment there.
Yeah,
I love that.
But you
Kuminga.
saw on that sequence there, you saw him flash to the rim, looking for the alley-oop.
Yeah, he was.
It wasn't there.
Yeah.
It wasn't there. He didn't stop and wait for it. He kept moving.
Yeah.
And what does Steve Kerr tell his players on the court? Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. And JK wasn't always hearing that. And tonight, he instinctively slid to the corner where you're supposed to go when there's an opening there. Give your passer a place to go. And he got the ball and he made the shot. One dribble, set his foot, boom.
Yes, one more thing to mention in those crunch time moments. Kuminga subbed back in. He had the rebound on the Finney-Smith missed free throw. So he grabbed that, one of his 10 rebounds tonight, and that made sure the Warriors would have a chance to have enough time on the clock for that final possession, for that final shot. Clay took it, didn't make it, unfortunately. But that's the kind of effort to set your team up for a moment that could take it overtime.
You know, he got 10 rebounds tonight, which sounds really good.
Yeah.
But when you say that he got 10 rebounds in 26 minutes, it sounds even better.
There
I mean, that's more like a 12 or 13 rebound game for a starter. So, you know, he's not going to do that every night. But the Warriors, as we know, they're on the rebounding. They're often a team that's lacking. You know, they get pounded. Tonight they lost a lot of second chance points because they didn't get a lot of boards that they let the Dallas Mavericks get offensively and get second and third shots. But if you have a guy who can come off the bench and get tough rebounds, and some of the rebounds that JK got were tough in traffic rebounds. Traffic rebounds. That's huge for this team. They didn't have that a month ago, and they have it now.
Defense is rebounding, that is one of those effort stats, and you can see Jonathan Kuminga making more of a concerted effort.
Absolutely.
Right there. All right, we're talking about him so much. Why don't we hear from the man of the hour, Jonathan Kuminga?
I mean, it's pretty much everybody. It's a group of all guys on the team. Just their encouragement every single day. Just keep pushing. Never know. Just keep going hard every single day. And I think, like I say, take your time. It's just a matter of time, and things just come in the right path. So I'm just gonna keep listening to what they keep telling me. And I'm not saying they keep telling me the right things every single day, but just knowing that they have a lot of experience than me, I just gotta like buy in and just listen to whatever they're saying.
You had 3 DNPs in the first 10 games, and I think when we talked, you said you didn't really know why, but you were trusting whatever the coach, whatever Steve had. But how does it feel now to kind of feel like you solidified your position?
Man, you never know. I won't say I've solidified yet. You know, it comes down to whenever the game is not going the right way and the coaches don't trust you, they only trust Vade. So I just got to keep fighting. I just got to keep fighting at the end of the day.
First time back here since the conference finals, obviously a wild game. Did it feel a little bit like a playoff atmosphere?
I wouldn't say that. You know, like I said, like everybody always say, we're the defending champions. Every time we play against anybody, they're gonna try to play their harder to just beat us, and everything's gonna fall through for them. So we just gotta keep fighting.
You know, to Madeline's point, just a few short weeks ago, you were kind of in Moses' position, right? Now the roles have kind of reversed. What are the conversations like between you two guys that came to the league at the same time? How are you keeping them up during this challenging stretch of this season?
We always talk. Moses like my brother. I mean, we both got drafted here, and I know for sure we both gonna stay for the longest. So we just always talk. You know, whenever things ain't going right, we always just encourage each other. Because, like I said, today it might go well for me, tomorrow it might go well for him. So we just gotta keep encouraging each other to a point where every day go well for both of us.
The Warriors needed this game from Jonathan Kuminga. They had 6 players in double-digit scoring, but this was a game that was cold for Wiggins and for Clay and for Poole. So somebody came through to help out. It was Jonathan Kuminga. And in a 3-point loss, I mean, the Warriors had a chance to win. So
Yeah.
I know there were some glaring things that you
yeah.
see on this box score, but still, they had a chance.
Well, that's because of JK and that second unit. You know, the starters, you go down minus, but the second unit are positive. I mean, JaMychal Green was a -2, but that's nothing given that he played only 8 minutes.
Sure.
But the other guys were all in double-digit positive. So,
We haven't said that at all.
No.
The bench
You couldn't
was
say it.
Yeah, the positive and the plus minus.
but you know, ever since that second half of the Houston Rockets game, 9 days ago now, it's been different. You know, putting Draymond out there has really kind of solidified that group. And now, like Draymond mentioned after the game, he said people kind of know where they are now. They know their roles. They know who's going to be out there with them. This is a solid 5 that they put out there now. And as long as JK plays well, he's going to stay out there. Draymond's going to be there. Jordan Poole's going to be there. Dante's come back, and he's playing really well. So
Yeah.
he's come back.
Yep.
And JaMychal Green. So those 5 are going to be out there. And you put Anthony Lamb out there, you know, shuttle him in and out too. So he's a big part of that because A. Lamb came out tonight and made a couple of big threes early in that second quarter.
He did, had a
and got
pair.
him going.
Yeah.
So the second unit is really, I think Steph Curry said after the game that, you know, hey, if we can get this from second unit, we can be a great team.
Yep.
And the first unit tonight was one of those nights when they did not produce like they normally do. They were top 5. They're number 1 first unit in the league for a 5-man unit, but tonight it wasn't there. And mostly because you look at Clay, Wiggins, and Jordan Poole. Those 3 guys averaged a combined 53 points a game.
Okay.
Tonight, 24.
There you go.
So they were off.
Yeah. All right. And the solidification in the second unit in particular, it took 22 games to happen. Really needed some patience, which is in short supply in the NBA. But let's talk about this. When we come back on Dubstock, presented by FitAid, we will address some of the things in the second unit that's looking really good right now. So do you add another ingredient? Where does James Wiseman fit in all this? We'll talk about that next.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by FitAid, the #1 post-workout recovery drink in America. Try now and visit drinkfitaid.com.
Hey guys, how are you? Really nice to see you on YouTube. We do see what's happening in the comments. Thank you for the positive ones. You know which ones I'm talking about. Yeah, sorry. Anyway.
Some of them are not so positive.
Hey, well, it's not just positive. You're welcome to criticize and that sort of
Yeah.
thing, but if we're getting spammed. So,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
But a basketball giant says, I'm encouraged by this loss, as crazy as I might sound. If we weren't playing better than we were a few weeks ago, we would have been blown out. I think that's totally fair. Like when you listen to the players and Steve Kerr talk postgame, you can tell. Did they feel like, wow, the wheels came off here? Or they're
No.
like, nah, we just lost this one. You know, there are some things.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because they know that there won't be many nights when you have Clay, Wiggins, and Poole all shoot poorly.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't. And all,
That's a rare night.
All those 3 guys average 8 points each tonight. So that's not going to happen very often. For the most part of this season, it's been Steph Curry and Wiggins leading the offense. Clay has come along. Jordan has come along. Tonight, Wiggs, Jordan, Clay weren't there. It was Steph and nobody else until you got to JK's 14 points. And Steph had 32. So, but if you're the Warriors, you're thinking, yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, this is a loss, but it's 1 of 82.
Yeah.
And we like where we're going, and they love what the second unit has taken them. And a game like tonight, they really showed.
You know, it feels like a nice departure to talk about the second unit this way. Yeah. It feels really
For a
good.
while, there was like, oh my goodness, what are they going to do?
That's what's in the comments too. D says all the second team is doing fantastic. They can only get better from here. So, all right, we'll talk about the second unit in just a moment. Okay. Welcome back to Dubstock Live, brought to you by FitAid, Monte and Kerith here. All right, the second unit it looks like it's transformed. And part of that transformation happened when Draymond Green joined the second unit. You see a more comfortable Jordan Poole, who had 9 assists in this game, by the way. Things are looking better for Dante, for J. Michael, Anthony Lamb. I know I've basically named everybody right there. Where should we start with, this chain reaction of Draymond looking, entering the second unit, and then the impact that that's made on everybody?
Well, I think it starts with Draymond first. What he brings is the things that they didn't have before. Organization. They were scattered before. They're all over the place. They look like 5 guys that just met yesterday.
Sometimes they didn't know who was going to take the ball up the floor, kind of thing. And then, whose turn is it to score? And do I pass to you or what?
It was a jumbled mess too often. Draymond brought organization. Defense. They weren't playing very good defense at all. Draymond bought defense. And he also, anytime Draymond's on the floor, your team automatically gains IQ points. And that's a smarter squad now with Draymond out there because he's one of the smarter players to play this game. So you put that 5-person unit out there, Draymond makes them better. But Jordan has settled in. And he's playing off the ball, on the ball, doing a little bit of both. He has settled in. You see where he's kind of feeling his way now and knows what he's doing. I think 2 things that have happened, though, that you didn't miss. Well, one thing you didn't expect, Anthony Lamb coming in and giving them a boost at both ends. I mean, he plays tough defense, and he can hit shots. And so you got that guy, he is doing things that they could not have seen a month ago. But he's doing it, and he's in that unit, and he'll stay in that unit as long as he's doing those things. And that means either going to be he or Michael Green, because right now, Kuminga's in there.
Yeah.
And Kuminga, his minutes have been coming and coming and coming. Like you said, his minutes have gone up tonight, 26 minutes. So all of those things happened. But the last piece, I think, was Dante DiVincenzo. Because he was missing for most of the season. Or during that 5-game road trip when they lost every game,
Yes.
he was not there.
The hamstring.
Yeah, he was not there. He was out. And so they were trying to patchwork it, a little Ty Jerome here, a little bit of this, a little bit there. And nothing against Ty Jerome, but you haven't seen him since Dante's come back because Dante's playing well. I mean, Dante again tonight, played good defense, and did, I thought he played a solid game defensively, which is what the second unit really needs. He got a bunch of rebounds. What did he have? He had 5 rebounds, which for a guard in 17 minutes is special.
2 steals.
So he's doing things that he's playing hard-nosed, smart, and effective basketball, which for the second unit is what they needed. So I think that 5-person unit it's come together because everybody is bringing something and they know what they're supposed to bring.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of these bench stats too as we talk about their come up. 43 bench points in this game. Going back to Dante, I mean, he said after he came off that hamstring injury, he wanted to help free Jordan Poole's mind. Okay, and that was before Draymond went into the second unit. But yeah, when all of these guys are playing for each other and trying to bring out the best in each other, that's good for the team. So there you go. You have to have a bench to complement this amazing group of starters.
No, you see that. I mean, Jordan is playing better back. He didn't shoot the ball well tonight, but for the most part, you see he had, like you said, 9 assists. So he's making good things happen for the second unit. Tonight they come in, they're down 12. And within 3 minutes, they're down 4. So they sliced off 8 points off that deficit. And then in the fourth quarter, they come in, they're down 5. And within 3 or 4 minutes, again, the Warriors have a 4-point lead. So, I mean, again, you can't expect that every night. But when you can sit back, if you're Steph Curry, you can sit back and you can watch your second unit come out on the floor with a 5-point deficit. And then 4 minutes later, they have a 4-point lead. You got to be thinking, okay, let's go. Let's go. I see you guys. Let's go.
Okay, this was a little tough for Jordan Poole with the 5 turnovers in this one. I think the defense made it tough on him.
Yeah.
Every now and then you're going to have an off night, but the 9 assists stand out to me. 9 points for Jordan Poole. He had a collection of games where he had at least 20 points. So all right, maybe an off night here in a game where some guys had off nights, Wiggins and Clay among them. Now we're talking about the second unit solidifying. There's somebody missing. It's James Wiseman. Okay, he went to the G League on November 15th. I believe he's had 5 games. There are 2 games this weekend, Friday, Saturday. And then I imagine the Warriors need to start making a decision about when they would like him to come back to the big club. He's going to have a big body of work down there. We've discussed how the most important number for him might be minutes played in these games. But if he were to come back, how do they fold him back into the second unit?
Well, right now, I mean, he can't help him right now the way he's playing. I mean, he's down in Santa Cruz. He's working hard. He's playing hard, but he's still not able to sort of impose his will on games.
Right.
You know, and you look at Wiseman, you look at his athleticism, his skill level, especially on offense, and you think, okay, he can do this, he can do that, he can do that, but why isn't it translating to game? You know, why isn't it the game that they had against the Stockton Kings the other night? You know, the Stockton's big man had 38 points and 18 rebounds. Now, that's not all on James Wiseman. But what I'm saying is that guy dominated the game. Their big did.
Yeah.
And James was on the court for 2/3 or 3/4 of that time.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking at James and you say, okay, he's having a hard time really imposing himself on a G League game, then how much can he help this second unit right now? And it's not good. It's not much right now. Ideally, what will happen is that he will come to a point where, you know, he starts to play with enough force to where teams know he's out there and know he's not going to let easy shots come to the bucket. And that's when the Warriors can say, okay, now he's ready to help us. Jordan Poole went to the G League in the bubble a couple of years ago, and he got down there and he started playing really, really well. And the Warriors said, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
With James, I don't think they want to bring him back until they say it's time, and right now it's not time.
He just hasn't had the moment where he's dominated yet.
Yeah, just even a quarter where you say, okay, that's the James Wiseman that can help the Warriors now.
Right, right. He does have a nice collection of video that the Warriors coaches can look at down there. I'm sure they're getting feedback all the time. I'm getting feedback too. People are asking about James Wiseman.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a mailbag coming out soon. Here's one of the questions that we'll be talking about, if we can see that one. Okay, so is there a time frame placed on how Wiseman will fit with Golden State before they decide or attempt to trade him? That's making a conclusion that they would consider that. I'm not sure if they're there yet, but just for the sake of conversation, when you look at, you know, if there are make and break moments for James Wiseman, when you talk about how important this G League stint is, I kind of look at it like right now, because the Warriors are winning, that buys James Wiseman more time. This is a good thing. If he wants to, if they're going to try to fold him back in with that second unit, maybe it's a situation where you can be extremely optimistic and say, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Right.
If everybody else is playing really well, they can help lift James Wiseman.
Yeah.
Is that too optimistic?
No, I mean, I
think
think there's something to that. I do. But I think for Wiseman, first of all, I think it's not too late for the Warriors too early for the Warriors to consider making a trade. That doesn't mean that they're out there actively trying to find one. But if a team comes to the Warriors and they show interest in Wiseman, the Warriors are listening. They are going to listen because, you know, this guy's going to make $12 million next year, and they don't yet know whether he can help them next year.
Yeah.
So the question is, how patient can the Warriors afford to be? You know, on one hand, you say this is his third year, but on the other hand, he's played fewer games than Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga.
It's still 50.
Yeah, he's played fewer games than they have. So third year it's kind of deceptive. It makes it feel like, oh, he's been around. Well, he hasn't played much. And so I think if you're the Warriors, you're saying, at what point do we say he's played enough for us to make a conclusion?
Yeah.
And I don't think they're there quite yet.
I don't think the urgency is there yet.
No.
First of all, also, if you have a player who's in the G League, if other teams are thinking, well, what is this guy's value to us? If you're going to trade somebody, is his trade value low right now? All you're trading on is his potential when you haven't really seen the body of work that you wanted where he dominated anything.
Yeah. Well, I will say this too, is James's skill set is better on offense than it is on defense. The problem with that for the Warriors is that they need their big men to be better on defense than offense, in terms of better meaning more productive. I mean, James can make it. He has a nice jump shot, his soft touch, a nice little jump hook. You know, he can score. But the Warriors need their big men to do set screens, effective screens, not soft screens like James was setting before he went down.
Yes.
Effective screens, be a rim protector, a real rim protector, and just kind of communicate in the paint. Those are things he has to be able to do. And right now, his skill set isn't fitting what this Warriors team's need. And the question is, can they turn that around to where he's able to pick up those skills and become the guy that they need him to be?
All right, let's look ahead when Dubstock Live, presented by FitAid, returns. What's coming up on the schedule? Can the Warriors, they're at 500 right now, can they get a little better? We'll talk about that in just a moment. Alrighty.
Jeez. It flies
Nicolas
by.
says Wiseman needs more attitude, be tougher, and after
Yeah,
a couple of successful plays, expand on the field. Yeah. I think you can say he needs to be meaner,
Yeah,
I suppose.
play nasty.
He cares. Listen,
Play nasty.
he does care
Yeah.
about all of this.
Yeah.
But what would that look like if he was mean.
Well, I mean, I think, James, when he first came into the NBA as a rookie, he was raw. You could see it. But there were flashes where you thought, okay, they may have something here. But he was playing with a certain disposition then. And you don't always see that now. And I know he can get down on himself. But if he's down on himself for very long, he's not helping the Warriors. And the Warriors have worked with him on that.
Yeah.
Hey, James, we're with you. We're with you.
Yes.
We're with you.
Yes.
But yeah, I think you want to see him play with more, be nastier, a little bit of edge, you know. And if he plays that way, again, on one hand, he's worried about the fouls because they told him, watch the fouls, watch the fouls.
Yeah.
But you got to play, you got to let people, you're 7-1, 258. Let people know you're out there.
Yeah. Who was the Warriors' last nasty true center?
Oh, Zaza was pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zaza was pretty. Bogut was nasty for sure.
Yeah.
Bogut was really nasty.
Bogut was the teacher of all of these little guys. Yeah,
Bogut,
okay.
Bogut was mean, but that's what he was also a guy who could rebound, protect the rim, set screens, all the things you want your big man to do. Now
Nobody pushed him around.
You got Looney doing those things now.
Yeah.
And Looney's very, very good at those things.
Looney is very good at those things, but I wouldn't say he's mean.
When it comes to rebounding, he can be pretty vicious.
Yeah.
When it comes to rebounding.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not a rim protector, but when it comes to rebounding, I think Loon, and defensively, he doesn't back down from anybody.
Yeah, that's true. Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live, presented by FitAid. In the YouTube comments, we were talking about who was the last mean center that the Warriors had. We kind of agreed that it was either Zaza or Bogut. Thank you all for following along on YouTube as well. All right, so the schedule coming up, okay, the Warriors have, they'll get home tonight. They'll have Wednesday off, practice Thursday. Then they've got the Bulls, the Rockets, and the Pacers. So we're talking about 3 games in 4 days, including a back-to-back. The Bulls, 9-11. The Rockets, 5-15. They've got the worst record in the West. Do you hope or think the Warriors can look at some of these games and say, this is our house. We've been great at Chase Center. Let's see if we can tick this record up.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is an opportunity for them. These are teams they should beat. Indiana is sneaky good.
They are 12-8.
Yeah, but they're young. I mean, but Tyrese Halliburton is playing really well.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude, he just went through a spell where he went 3 games with like 40 assists and no turnovers. That's ridiculous. It's crazy. So they're a good team. The Bulls can be hit and miss, but the Bulls aren't a very good defensive team. So the Warriors should be able to score pretty well at will, whether it's the first squad unit or the second unit. They should be able to score 130 points against the Bulls because the Bulls just don't defend very well.
And real quickly, Monte, the Warriors are coming home 1-1 on this road trip. How should they be feeling right now? 30 seconds.
I think you like where you are because the second unit was an issue 2 weeks ago. And now it's not. The first unit you don't worry about. And so I think you got to say, you know what, we're in a good spot.
All right, good. Thank you very much. Monte, Poole, I'm Kerith, Burke. We will be back here on Dubs Talk Live. You can also catch the podcast as well. And I got a mailbag coming out. So we will talk Warriors.
For sure.
Till the day we die.
Yay.
Thank you guys for watching Dubs Talk Live, presented by FitAid. All right, we've got some nasty names in here, okay? Alton Lister, Manute Bol, Larry Smith.
Oh my God, you're going way back now.
You guys are going way back.
The 80s.
But actually, so Neil T is talking about the Halliburton conversation. He says, I really like Halliburton. I like how the Kings are constructed, but I do wonder if they're looking at Halliburton like, oh.
Well, yeah, I mean, they got Sabonis out of it, and they got Buddy Hield out of it, and so I think Hield is probably going to be traded at some point.
Yeah.
But Sabonis is a bona fide, productive big man. Not a great defensive guy, but he can give you a triple-double on any night. So you take that.
You would take a triple-double on any night.
The question about Halliburton is whether he could have played with De'Aaron Fox, and the only way it would have worked is if De'Aaron Fox was off the ball, and De'Aaron is really kind of a combo guard, so I can see the awkward fit there. But Halliburton is going to be good for a long time. He's just so smart, and he's effective and he's efficient. He's 23 years old, I think. But again, he played 2 or 3 years in college. He wasn't a one and done guy.
Yeah.
So it helps.
He's exciting to watch. All right, D says Dubs Talk Live is way too short. Thank you, Kerith and Monte, for making it fun. Shannon says, have a great night, everybody. Take care. So on that note, we will say goodbye. Thanks for watching.
Take care.